Good morning, this is day 3 of the DIY gaming stationary bike project, which is basically a bike that allows you to do exercise while you are gaming on your computer so that it is not that boring. Anyways, today we will focus on making the pedal mechanism work. Think, make it better. In part 2, we just finished making the feet but they were not stuck onto the bike, and since we don't need so much gripping force, using a little bit of hot glue ended up just working fine. Moreover, I am finding the center of the piece of wood so that I can drill a hole in order to have the pedal axle. I have used a 20mm drill bit, but my PVC pipe, which I am using as an axle, is 27mm wide, so I then had to widen my hole with the help of a Dremel tool and of a file and rasps. Once this is done, I am doing the exact same process, but with another piece of wood which will be placed on the other side. Clamping your piece of wood down is also much more useful when working. Here you might be wondering why I am drilling through a fan blade, but basically when you are riding on a normal bicycle, the resistance is provided by the ground and your weight, which has to move on the floor. An exercise bike either have some mechanical contacts with some metal disc and a piece of lever which allows you to adjust the resistance of the bike, or some magnetic and induction process but which are rather very expensive, or the simple ones have huge fan blades. So I have used this old recycled fan blade that I have gotten from a refurbished fan. In my case, since it was just plastic, it was much faster and also much less tedious to widen my hole by melting the plastic using an old soldering iron. The fan blade needs to be pretty tight because it will spin along with the axle. Since there only was plastic on one side of my fan blade, I had to make my own shim out of wood. And also, since I had to make a lot of hole, I have found it ridiculous to sand so much material, and I could not get some really nice and round fits, so I have bought another drill bit which is bigger. I can now hot glue my DIY shim onto the fan blade. Moreover, here I am measuring the length between the two pieces of wood so that I know where to cut my PVC pipe, which will be the axle. Since we are working around plastics, using the mandrel on the Dremel tool is a very great idea. And here I was trying to make some weird fittings, but I ended up not using them later. I can now screw everything on, and then we can start placing the pedals. And basically I was using my weird plastic pieces because I thought that I could use them in order to mount my pedals. But actually it did not work at all, simply because the PVC fitting onto the pedal was way too thick and thus this mechanism did not work. So I have cut a spacer with a bigger piece of PVC pipe. Once this shim was glued on, I have made some marks so that I know where to place my old soldering iron in order to pre-drill my holes, because then I thought that my mechanism would work. But actually it did not, and I have found that this really was ambiguous, because I could simply remove the pedal fitting and make some makeshift shims out of duct tape, and then I could get a really nice fit between the two pipes. So I have done so and the pedals were ready. But since it is a smart gaming bike, we need to sense when we go forwards. So I am going to be using this small DC motor that I have scavenged from a printer, I think. And because of induction, it will act as a generator and our Arduino board will be able to read the analog input. Since I cannot place my motor directly onto the axle, I have made a small pulley out of cardboard. because since it won't handle a whole lot of torque, there is no need to have something really strong. I can now glue my motor onto a wooden base that I have made out of scrap wood. And I can now hot glue everything onto the bike and place a small rubber band. And as we can see, once I spin the pedals, the motor also spins. And we have something pretty cool. So, see? But at least right now, we have a stationary exercise bike which we have made basically for free, because I have gotten all the wood from an old bed and all of the components were scavenged for something else. What is your excuse not to exercise? Anyways, this video is quite long already, and I will continue in part 4, where we will try to make the motor part and the sensing part work. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you like my channel, you can consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.